Let's create some content. What's good, Enterprisers? Jason Lago here again with Always Enterprise. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how you can consistently create solid content. How to consistently create solid content. Now, if you've been in the business for any amount of time, and by the business, I'm referring to the online business, internet marketing, whatever you want to call it, the fact of the matter is content is king. Maybe you've heard that before, maybe you haven't, but it's something that you should know, and that it's something that you'll come to find out, again, the longer that you spend in business. Content is king. The reason why some of the most top followed and top rated influencers and business magnates, the reason why you follow them, that you know their name, the reason that you trust them, the reason that you want to buy their stuff, as it were, is because of the content that they create. And what that does is that continues to make them more credible in terms of their leadership, their credibility, and give them an authority type status. But then also it deepens a relationship with you. The more that you can follow and consume someone's content, the more that you like them, know them, trust them, and look forward to some of their other offerings to the point where you're willing to pay for it. And that's exactly the same type of environment that you want to create for yourself. So the way that you do that is to consistently create content. But it's not exactly the easiest thing to do, especially if you're new to the game. So with that in mind, I want to go ahead and give you the 4 pillars, the 4 essentials, as it were, that I think will be the most important things for you to focus on when you're creating content. If you always remember these 4 essentials, you won't have any problem creating consistent content that continues to bring you attention and ultimately bring you business. Let's get started. Number 1, educate. Now, I started with this for the first point with good reason. The reason why you start with education is because it's the easiest thing to do, and it's also the fastest path to create, again, the credibility status, to create an authority type figure. There's a lot of people who go about this the wrong way. A lot of the times I tune into other marketers and kind of see what they're doing, and a lot of newbies make the mistake of just simply saying, hey, follow me because I'm a leader in the industry, or I'm a top producer, or I'm a whatever you call it. And while you should be confident, and I guess there's nothing really wrong with this particular method, the fact of the matter is, though, I think that there's a much easier approach and a much better approach, more effective approach, which is by way of just creating content and educating people and creating assets wherein you're teaching something, because that delivers real value. And whenever it is that you impart knowledge and share knowledge, automatically, by its own virtue, you establish yourself as a credibility source. So rather than get up here and say, follow me, if you create assets, whether they're videos, blogs, written pieces, or what have you, wherein you're creating content that teaches and that imparts knowledge, that's very easy for someone to check in your stuff, to check on you further, and find all of these assets, again, that continue to deliver knowledge. And we all know that knowledge is power. So the more that you can educate your audience, right, the better it is for you. A lot of the times too, when you're doing this, the education piece is a great way to get sales that stick. Because when you're informing people, when you're giving people information, what they do is they make buying decisions that are informed buying decisions. And again, that helps you to have sales that stick as opposed to sales that are bought on impulse and ask for a refund later. So find something that you know about, all right, go ahead and share it, teach it. Learn, do, teach is a great method. Teach something, educate your market, and find yourself become an authority figure almost overnight. Number 2, elaborate. Elaborate. Another way to think about this is to expand. Once you find a winning piece of content through whatever modality it is, again, it could be video marketing, maybe you create a written piece of content by way of a social media post, or maybe a blog, or maybe it's a long piece of email, whatever you want to call it. Once you find a winning piece of content, your next step, your next mission in life would be to call more eyes to that piece of content. More eyes, more ears, more attention. So this is where something called multi-channel marketing is something that you want to go ahead and start considering, and let it start taking shape and taking effect in your business. If someone likes your piece of content that is given on the medium of, let's call it something that's written, maybe a blog post, now what you have is something that could be transferred into a video piece of content because you've already got a script or an outline in place. First case in point, it would be the videos that I do right here. A lot of the times what the information and the material that you see me teach to you here on video are stuff that I have written out before and taught to another group, maybe, okay? I've also put these things into email form. I've chunked them up into segments and dripped them out in an email campaign that lasts maybe a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And so now you can see where repurposing content is very easy to do and very effective, as long as you have in mind that you want to, again, magnify your efforts. Let's expand expand, let's elaborate, let's take it an extra step, let's take it to the next level. So once you've educated your market and you're starting to see great traction with the content you're producing, your next step is to elaborate. Expand those efforts, elaborate, elaborate, elaborate. Number 3, entertain. Entertain. This is crucial, all right? Let me just put it this way. No one likes stale bread. No one likes what is boring. Now, obviously, you want to make sure that you are authentic and you want to be sincere in all that you do, but also find a way to entertain your audience. Find a way to stand out. Now, again, I wouldn't suggest that you go extra or out of your way or try to become obnoxiously different, especially if it's something that if you're trying to be something that you're not. I wouldn't suggest you do that because people can smell and sense authenticity. What I am saying though is just find ways to entertain your audience, okay? There's a couple ways that you can do it, but as long as you're natural, as long as you're true to it and not being monotone, not being, robotic in any way, it's going to be helpful to you. So the way that I like to do it is with humor, all right? I like to laugh. I like to inject jokes once in a while. In my story marketing on my social media, I love to do behind the scenes type stuff where I'm showing you around my surroundings. I'm showing you the food that I'm eating, the coffee that I'm drinking, right? I like to go ahead and include personal anecdotes in the stories. This is also why I'm utterly against you doing just simple copy and paste type marketing. A lot of the times, especially if you're in affiliate marketing or if you're in a network marketing situation, the corporation, right? The corporate website, the corporate, a body usually provides some resources that are done for you, swipe and deploy. And the danger there is that if you just copy and paste, you're being robotic and there's no sincerity there, right? There's hardly any entertainment there because it's not true to you per se. So in those situations, I would strongly recommend that you personalize and take the time to edit that thing that you're copy and pasting in, and don't just copy and paste and send it out. Again, add your own flair to it and find a way to entertain. As long as you're being yourself and you're being real, sincere, and true, then you should have no problem capturing and keeping the attention of your audience. So find a way to entertain them and they'll stick around. Number 4, and finally, engage. Engage, engage, engage. All right, this is why you're creating content, is to get people interested in you, but also to engage with you. Again, communication, just like relationships, they're a two-way street. So as people continue to find you and start to bring this traction in on you with regards to your content, make sure that you're engaging with them, all right? Engaging back with them as they engage with you, okay? If someone comments, you want to comment back. You want to say thank you at the very least. If someone likes a comment, likes one of your posts, likes a piece of content, make sure you acknowledge them for that, or at least show some appreciation. If they share your piece of content, all right, now you've definitely got reasons to reach out to them and to communicate with them because they like your content so much that they're sharing it with other people. All right, these are wins that you should celebrate and make sure that you reciprocate as well. On top of that, one part of engagement that you never want to waste, that you never want to neglect, is calling for action, okay? Placing a well-placed CTA, a strong CTA, a call to action. Never waste the opportunity to influence. If people are tuning into you, then it just makes sense to ask them to do something else, all right? And whatever that next step is that you want to ask them to do, make sure that you do it. It could be as simple as, commenting or liking or sharing, or maybe you want to prompt them for some discussion. You can say something along the lines of, hey, if you enjoyed what you've seen today, let me, tell me something that you want to see or hear in the future, or if you're discussing a certain topic, ask them for an opinion, ask them, what it is that they would do in a similar situation. I think you get the idea. Just make sure that you're engaging with your audience, and when they engage with you, show the appreciation for it, but always engage back. Never waste the opportunity to influence. Engage. There you have it, my friends. I hope this was helpful to you. Very simple, but very powerful methodologies, powerful elements that if you consider, and more importantly, if you employ, you'll have no problem creating consistent content that will feed you attention and sales for years and years to come. I trust this is helpful. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. As usual, let me go ahead and engage with you right now. Make sure that you give me a like and a comment, but most importantly, subscribe. And also hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. I'll see you next time. Keep on enterprising. Take care.